What Nixon did is basically he was doing inspections to make sure that I wasn't putting my pilots under undue stress. So what he did was he basically filmed his people, whatever Kelly with that idiot in a suit. He dressed his people in suits and he took his little camera down there to my airfield and he filmed his pilot getting into my aircraft. And then after he filmed his pilot getting in my aircraft and out and bugging my aircraft and doing this little thing. And they filmed these things, JFK, Nixon, he would film these little films. And then he did these other films talking about Kelly and put your finger along the running edge. Anyway, Nixon, JFK, the government had nothing to do with the SR-71, nor any of my projects. That is Lucifer, White Star Line, American aircraft, Russia, Germany, China, Japan, world conglomerate making a titanium aircraft. They didn't even know the pilots were questioned, of course. I mean, the people were questioned, of course. They didn't know the first thing about titanium. They didn't know the makeup of the metal. They didn't know the structure. They just had a couple of little lines on the thing, and basically they were saying, blah, 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 we did blah, 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 blah. Nothing to do with it. It was JFK, Nixon, Republicans basically trying to take credit for my aircraft, which was Russia, Germany, and China, Japan, all working together to make these engines or whatever. My American aircraft company, basically. Basically, Lucifer, White Star Line, creator of pretty much the Earth, the Sun, and everything else, working to make the fastest jet in history. Titanium is a very hard metal to work with and is not easy to make that kind of an aircraft. It takes a lot of work and a huge team and a lot of money. And only me, Lucifer, White Star Line, or my at-home name, Brian, epic creator of humanity and 12 other races and lots of other planets and stuff, could actually do that kind of thing. Nixon, he wasn't anyone. He was a JFK clone idiot, basically. A piece of shit with a mouth and tiny little legs that would walk and spew crap out his mouth. Anyway, he killed all of my scientists and all my researchers who actually worked on the project, so he could say blah, 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 this person, blah, 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 blah. They don't even know where the metal came from other than Russia. Which mine did it come from exactly in Russia? How was it mined in Russia? How exactly they have like 5 people on the screen and say blah, blah, blah. Anyway, those were inspectors for the Nixon Republican, making sure that Lucifer White Star Line is not being unduly putting his people through. Anyway, they said tendinitis could be caused by blah, blah, blah. For a pilot, he might be under undue stress. Anyways, Republican Nixon, his crap. Anyway, he's doing this bullshit game. Anyway, after he did it and after he killed all those people and after he basically had all these people pretty much, I found every single one of his liars. And I basically put them on a planet going through, and I tested out the human body to see how much pain a person could endure for 1,000 years and what it would do to his psychology. Anyway, I actually forgot about them, and about 2,500 years later, I was like, oh, oops, I'm sorry. Did I leave you in extreme pain for the most amount of pain a human body could possibly endure without actually going unconscious for about 2,500 years? And my people kind of got on my case about it because I did torture them for basically just being liars for 2,500 years in the most amount of pain possible. And maybe that was unduly not okay, but considering their con and considering it was to me, the creator of all these things, and it was leading up to basically them trying to kill me anyway at some future point. So pretty much, yeah, they got tortured for basically 2,500 years, and we found out exactly how much pain a human body can actually endure for their pretty much what they did. Which also, they also killed a whole bunch of Germans, they killed a whole bunch of Japanese, they killed a whole bunch of Russians. And so basically I was very upset over what they did and their part in the whole con or stuff. I say if Kelly is not actually the right person. Anyway, basically when we were torturing them, or when we basically looked into their minds, we found out all the liars and all the things, and I appointed certain people, and because I know what happened, I was told basically, and pretty much somebody or I took care of it. And I'm pretty sure I forgot about them for about 1,000 years and was like, oh wait, those people are still being tortured, aren't they? Yeah, we better let them die. So yeah, about that. Yeah, Lucifer, White Star Line, the Lucifer me. I got quite a reputation for not really tolerating liars. In fact, I did not like them at all, and actually did torture a few of them for a very, 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 very long time. I was very upset when I came back and I found out what they did. Not to mention all the children that they killed, not to mention all the women that they raped and tortured and hurt. Like I said, they had a good run, but then after they died, it was my turn. And I was not happy, or, like I said, I was not always so soft and cuddly and friendly. In fact, I could be rather, I didn't care. I was like, torture. Anyway, they were tortured for 1,000 years, screaming in pain, whereas no one could hear them, for about 2,500 years. My bad. I said 1,000. I forgot about them. It happens. Anyway, that's how I got my name of Lucifer, and why people started to fear me. Although, like I said, what they did was an unusual amount. Like, it led to the killing of Germany and lots of scientists and lots of good researchers that I had promised I would protect and save and take care of, and they were killed and hurt, and their children were raped and everything else, and it was very, very bad. And I was very, very upset, so upset that, like I said, I felt no remorse or caring as to how much pain I put them through. And we found out exactly how much the human can actually take without actually going unconscious, as far as pain. And then they endured that for about 2,500 years. I made an example, I guess you could say. But I wasn't really making an example, I was just really pissed off. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, it kind of led into my whole The Legend of Lucifer thing, and it's true. And it was a couple thousand years ago or whatever, where, it doesn't really matter if you die to an entity like myself. Like, it doesn't really matter if I die. I'm Brian right now, but I used to be Lucifer White Star. And so I dealt with these things. Anyway, I gotta go.